Okay guys, this is part 3 of breaking this deer down, right? How to properly field dress this thing. Part 1, I made the proper cuts, got everything dialed in, right? Peeled the cape off, fleshed it, get as close as you possibly can, get all the meat off of it. Part 2, I got the back straps and the tenderloins off, and then I took the quarters, got those off, got them whole. Okay, so now part 3. Now this is the part that not a lot of people know how to do, which is totally fine, right? And normally if you're in your state, you could drop it off of your taxidermist and he's probably gonna do this, or she. But in this case right now, I'm hunting in Kansas, and a lot of states right now, you cannot transport a deer across lines with the brain and the bone attached, right? So you can't take the skull apart, nothing. So you gotta debone all the meat, and you gotta also take the cape off, because if you're gonna bring this back to your taxidermist, you gotta know how to take the cape off the head. That's where a lot of guys just kind of stop, right? Or gals. So here's the deal. I'm gonna show you how to do it, okay? The first thing you're gonna do is make a cut in a V from right here from this antler. It's just gonna come straight back, okay? And right here at this antler, he's got a little kicker right here. I'm just gonna kind of work my way around it, right straight back to that cut that you made. So now I've got a little flap, okay? So you can see right here, and it's gonna get a little shaky here, but that's all right, because this is a little tedious process. Okay, so now what I've got is I've got a V, and I just kind of work that V until I can catch up to it, if you know what I'm saying, right? So now, here's the V right here. There it is. Okay, so now you can see I got a V right in the back, okay? I'm gonna start with one side, and the same thing that I did before, I'm gonna go ahead and start to peel the layers back on this, right? So you're gonna get to the ear, you're gonna see the ear inside there, and I'm just following the skull. Now underneath, and it's really hard to see, underneath right here, okay? Coming around here. Okay, right there. Right here is where you stick your knife in, okay? And you basically go right along the skull and you twist it. Okay, and you see how that's coming away from the skull? You come in there and you twist it. Right along the base, okay? And then you just keep coming. Okay, so here's the deal right here. There's his ear right there, cut right through it. Okay? Stay right along the skull, even underneath. This guy's got some really cool character at his bases, but if you stay right there and you just cut, there you go, just like that. Okay, so now that I've got that, I just work him right down the side, and I go across the front. So you catch up with yourself the whole time, right? You come in here, you do this just like that. There we go. And then you come back up on top of the skull right here and you catch up to it. Now, I've been using this same buck knife the whole time, never sharpened it, and you can see how awesome it is. Okay. So then once I get caught up on the front, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just going in, right along the back. There it is, cutting right there. And that's why you have this V, is so that you can get some traction right in the middle. See? Okay. So now this left side is completely free of the antler, right? Completely free of the antler. So now what I do, same thing on this side. I just start to go ahead and stay right against that skull, making sure I try to get every inch as close as I possibly can. Now, some people have a little tool that they'll stick down in here, and basically they'll put it in and then just pry it, which is totally fine. This is just my kind of preferred method after doing so many of these over my guide years and over the last couple of years. Been lucky enough to do that. Okay, so now I got this V, get this out of the way. Now this is where it starts to get a little awkward, right? Because you got to get in here and really work with, especially with an old buck like this. He's got these pedicles are really kind of jacked up, which is really kind of sweet. Got so much character. This is just an old buck that was on one of our leases that JB shot, and we had seen him, but we call him the stranger because he just showed up out of nowhere. He wasn't on any cams early, and then he just showed up. So he was the stranger, and he started bossing everybody around. We got some video of him pushing around a nice 9 and some other stuff. He's just needed to go. He's an old buck, past his time. And JB made sure that happened. So you can see how awkward it gets, right, as I work around this one side. Now what I want to do is I want to show you once I get this free. Give me a second here. Okay, right through the ear. And again, I'm just trying to keep up with myself the whole time. And you're flipping it around and you're getting dirty, and that's fine. That's all part of it. Okay. All right. So now his antler is free on both sides, and you can see right here I went all the way around the pedicle, all the way around here on this pedicle, cut that V, which is that flap right here, and brought it forward, right? So now I got to catch up on this side, and the next tedious thing is part of the eyes. This is where a lot of guys and gals will mess up, is they won't cut the tear ducts, or they'll just start slicing away at the eyes. All right, so the next thing is to make sure you salvage all of this right here. Okay, you actually are going to go ahead and put your hand in that eye right there, and you are going to keep that super tight all the way through. Make sure you get all the lids, because there's lots of them. Okay, now right when you get down here, this is a critical part. Right here on this side, okay, right there, you'll see his tear ducts. That's where you have to go super slow, and you got to dig it out. Otherwise, you're going to have a giant cut there. Taxidermist is going to be mad. You're going to come back to me, tell me I told you I didn't do it. Okay, here we go. So you just kind of dig it, scoop it. The best thing I can explain is like a melon baller. Really, you just kind of go in there, scoop it, and then you'll see it break free. There it is right there. That's the tear duct for that eye, and it came right out of there. Okay, now you're pretty much home free on this side. Okay, so then what I do is I flip them and I get caught up on this side. Same thing. I stick my finger in there. It is what it is, right? Okay. And then I go ahead and pull this thing like that. Keep it super tight. And once I get that going, there's all of his lids. Perfect. Give me some room to work right here. And then I come in, go ahead and do this right on the tear duct, dig it out. The last thing I want to do is cut that cape right there. Then you got a big gaping hole in the front of your cape. You don't want that. And again, your taxidermist is going to get mad at you. In this case, JB is going to get mad at me. All right, so now I got him past the eyes, and here's a little trick. Instead of continuing to come this way, what I'm going to do is I go in. He doesn't need these anymore, so I just kind of work the lips free by making 2 cuts right down the inside of the lips. And what that does is that just allows me to get some room from this side, so when I come back I'm caught up with it, right? Okay, so I'm just peeling that right back. Okay, then I do the same thing, make a cut right here on the nose. So here's his nose, peel it back, same thing right here, and I just go right along the inside of that on both sides right there. Okay, just give me some room. Now when I bring him forward, once I get all caught up here, let me get rid of all this stuff. The key is to keep it even all the way. Okay, so now I got that out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and keep coming down. There's the teeth, there it is, right across his nose, and we're almost done with the whole head. See, now those cuts that I made, I'm already back to them, so I got all this room right here now to work with. That's why I like coming in the other way, because it gives me a ton of room to work, which is nice. Let me flip them around, stay even with them. Okay, there it is, right there. And got one more little cut right here. See, now I'm already where I made those cuts in the beginning, so I don't have to worry about it. And the last imperative part is stay right along the bone on the top, because you're going to get to his nose, and the last thing you want to do is whack his nose off. So you stay right on the stay right on the top, and you'll feel that soft cartilage go, and as soon as you feel that cartilage, cut right down through it, and just like that, he is off the head. Okay, so now what I've got is a reverse. Here it is. Pull that back through, and you've got a full mounted, or I'm sorry, a full caped whitetail, just like that, okay? And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let him air dry a little bit. I'm gonna fold him up. I'm gonna get some salt on him because I'm at camp. And now you've got this right here. You can't take this across state lines, so the last thing you're gonna wanna do is make one cut right here with a Sawzall, make one cut right there with a Sawzall, and you've got yourself the antlers and the cape, and that's all your taxidermist is gonna need. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that kind of gives you guys an idea of what it's like to cape out a head. Obviously, took me about, I think, 10 minutes or so, something like that. I've done hundreds of them. Take your time, make the proper cuts, get in there, dig it, learn from it. Do a doe, it doesn't matter if you go around the antlers, just start to learn from it. It's a skill that you won't regret when you're going on a hunt out of state.